really talked about or shown the images that are on the hue cards for the PC Engine releases, because for the most part, there's no reason to. The hue card just has a cropped version of the same picture on the cover. But Naxat Golf is a little bit different. Here's what the hue card looks like. And if you've actually been watching this video instead of just listening to it, you'll immediately spot that that's just the title screen. It even has the menu in the lower right-hand corner. You wind up with the text Copyright 1989 Naxat Soft on there twice, because it's both on the title screen and that's how they print the cards. The weird printing on this one extends to the manual, which isn't a booklet, opens the wrong way, and unfolds into a single sheet. Yeah, I don't even know what Naxat was doing with this one. Once more, I'm looking at a PC Engine golf game, and when it comes to these sports titles, the question is always, what's different? What makes Naxat Open stand out among all of the other golf games that we've seen? And there are quite a few differences this time. Some good, some bad. The way the game modes are laid out are a little bit confusing on the title screen. The top option is for the tournament mode, which is the main game. And then the bottom option will take you to a screen where you choose number of players, or if you want to play a different mode. So if you want to play a match game, where everyone is just competing by each hole, rather than over the whole course, that's where it's hidden. In tournament mode, you play 18 holes, and then if you're in the top 8 players for the tournament, you continue on to the next day, where you play the same 18 holes again. If you're the top player at the end of the 4th day, then you win. Before you start playing, you have to choose your character, and there are 3 options. These characters do have slightly different stats, or at least I'm told by the manual that they have slightly different stats, but in play, I didn't really feel much of a difference. You've got Jay Oseki, who is supposed to be Jumbo Ozaki, and his drives go further, but he's supposed to have less control. Aoiki, who I couldn't identify as a professional golfer, has more control but less power. And then you can enter your own name for the average person. There is a trick to that though. If you enter 3 characters, any 3, followed by ko, then you get a woman player. Ko at the end is the indicator for a female name in Japanese. When you tee off at every hole, you get a view from the tee, and this is the only time you get to view the hole from this perspective. The graphics aren't redrawn with every shot. Instead, after you tee off, the game is played entirely from an overhead view. When you're up, you have a menu of 3 options. Shot, which will let you take your shot. Course, which gives you an automated flyover of the hole. You're not allowed to scroll around, it just plays out on its own. And green, that gives you a zoomed-in view of the green. When you pick shot, first you have to aim your ball. It doesn't seem to automatically aim exactly at the flag, so you might want to adjust the aim a little bit. Then you see the lie of the ball and an indicator for how much spin you're putting on it. Depending on circumstances, the ball could be partially obstructed or buried into a bunker, though I really didn't notice any significant difference in how far you could hit the ball. Similarly, with how much spin you can put on it, the only way I noticed an effect was when I pushed it to extreme positions. With how you strike the ball set, you hit button 1 and go to the swing. And this is where you change which club you're using. You have to be in the red area on the swing meter in order to hit the ball straight, and as clubs shoot shorter distances, that red region becomes larger. Once you've selected a club, hit button 1 to start the backswing, hit button 1 when you have the power you want, and button 1 again to strike the ball. If you don't stop your backswing, then the whole thing just resets and you didn't take a swing. The movement of the swing meter is relatively slow, so it's pretty easy to hit the ball straight in Naxat Open. The putter is the exception for the swing meter, since here you just pick a position on the bar and hit the button once. The greens in Naxat Open are a bit of a confusing mess. While arrows indicate a direction of slope, I don't think I've ever seen greens this busy in a golf game. I pretty much had to give up aiming on some holes just because I crossed slopes in so many different directions and strengths that I couldn't make a guess on how it would affect my putt. The most interesting feature in Naxat Open is the course itself. Rather than every hole existing in its own limbo by itself, The course in Naxat Open is laid out like a real course, mostly. Well, a real course with a large lake in the middle that they use for some very crazy holes. And of course there aren't any paths, and bridges only show up in one place, but the layout is mostly there. If you try to shoot off to the wrong hole, well, then you'll go out of bounds. Though on the 18th hole, the layout has you do a U-turn, and you can tee off in almost the complete opposite direction and still be on that hole. It's effectively a 400-yard drive if you do this. There's quite a few holes that are just the green in the middle of water. On this particular one, the light blue area are all shallows where you can hit the ball out of it. Probably uncomfortable to do in real life. Like most of these PC Engine golf games, Naxat Open is totally forgotten these days in Japan. I can't even find anyone commenting on it. This one is completely buried. For me, Naxat Open is a mixed bag that winds up averaging out to, fine I guess. I think the course layout's pretty good, and not a lot of golf games at this point handle the lie of the ball. On the other hand, the presentation is boring. Yes, boring even for a golf game. And it feels like a lot of the ambitious features that they included don't really work that well. The only thing that I really strongly dislike are the green layouts. But putting is a big part of a golf game. Like I said, it all averages out to, fine. And you have to be a lot better than fine if you want your sports game to be remembered decades later.